Ever wondered who was the boy king who ruled an empire? Let's step back in time about 3,300 years to the golden sands of Egypt. In the heart of this ancient civilization, a young boy ascends to the throne, not even old enough to drive by today's standards. This is Tutankhamun, or as he's more commonly known, King Tut. Just a child, he found himself at the helm of one of the most powerful empires of the ancient world. Imagine being in the 4th grade, and suddenly you're the ruler of an entire nation. That's a lot of pressure, right? But this wasn't your ordinary 4th grader. This was a boy of royal lineage. Born into the 18th dynasty, young Tutankhamun was of royal stock, the son of the controversial pharaoh Akhenaten. Now, Akhenaten was a bit of a rule breaker, shaking things up by shifting Egypt's traditional polytheistic religion to the worship of a single god, Aten. This was, let's say, a bit of a PR nightmare, and it left young Tutankhamun with some pretty hefty shoes to fill when he assumed the throne. Though his reign was brief, it was marked by attempts to restore the old religious order and mend the fractures that his father's radical changes had caused. A daunting task for anyone, let alone a child. Yet, despite his youth, Tutankhamun left a lasting legacy that continues to captivate us today. His tomb, discovered in the early 20th century, remains one of the most significant archaeological finds to date, packed with a wealth of treasures that offer tantalizing glimpses into his life and times. From his golden burial mask to his intricate chariots, each artifact tells a story of a young king navigating the tumultuous waters of leadership. But who was this boy who became king, and what was his life like? Join us as we delve into the enigma of the boy king Tutankhamun. Unraveling the mysteries of his reign, his life, and his untimely death promises to be a journey as intriguing as the boy king himself. Born in 1342 BC, Tutankhamun's childhood was far from ordinary. The son of Pharaoh Akhenaten and his chief wife, Queen Nefertiti, Tutankhamun was born into a life of privilege and power. Yet his earliest years were anything but a bed of roses. His father, Akhenaten, was known for his religious revolution, shifting Egypt from its traditional polytheistic beliefs to the worship of one god, Aten, the sun disk. This was a time of turmoil and change, a backdrop that would shape the young king's life. Growing up in the royal court, Tutankhamun was privy to the extravagance of Egyptian royalty. Picture a boy surrounded by the grandeur of palaces, the wisdom of scholars, and the intrigue of court politics. Yet, beneath this grandiosity, there was a child who was thrust into the limelight at a very early age. The sudden death of his father when he was just a boy meant that Tutankhamun ascended to the throne much earlier than expected. He was barely 9 or 10 years old when he was crowned as the Pharaoh of Egypt. Imagine the weight of the crown on his young head, the responsibility of an entire kingdom thrust upon his slender shoulders. Yet, the young king rose to the occasion. He was guided by powerful advisors, like Ai and Horemheb, who helped steer the country during these tumultuous times. Tutankhamun's reign began with the daunting task of restoring the traditional gods that his father had abandoned. This was no easy task for a young boy, yet he took it on with courage and resilience. Tutankhamun's early years were marked by a blend of luxury, power, and immense responsibility. His childhood was a far cry from the carefree days that most children enjoy. Instead, his were filled with royal duties, political decisions, and religious reforms. And so, at a tender age, Tutankhamun took on the mantle of a king. His early years were a testament to his strength and resolve, setting the stage for his reign as one of Egypt's most famous pharaohs. Imagine being a teenager and having to rule an empire. This was the reality for Tutankhamun, the boy king who took the throne of Egypt when he was just 9 or 10 years old. He was suddenly thrust into a world of politics, power, and decision-making, a world where the stakes were as high as the pyramids themselves. In the early days of his reign, the kingdom was still feeling the aftershocks of his father Akhenaten's religious upheaval. Akhenaten had moved the capital, changed the state religion, and disrupted Egypt's long-established social order. Young Tutankhamun was left to navigate the turbulent waters of this political and religious turmoil. Despite his tender years, Tutankhamun proved to be a decisive ruler. He made the bold decision to reverse his father's religious reforms and restore the traditional Egyptian pantheon. This wasn't just about appeasing the masses. It required the rebuilding of temples, the reinstatement of priests, and the re-establishment of religious rituals and festivals. It was a monumental task, but Tutankhamun rose to the challenge. Tutankhamun also moved the capital back to Thebes, re-establishing the city's status and returning power to its priesthood. This move was a strategic stroke of genius, as it helped to unify the country and restore stability after years of disruption and disarray. But ruling an empire wasn't all about making grand decisions. There were also day-to-day challenges: the management of resources, the administration of justice, the maintenance of Egypt's vast territories. Even in these mundane matters, Tutankhamun showed wisdom and tact beyond his years. The reign of Tutankhamun may have been brief, but it was a time of significant change and recovery for Egypt. His reign set the stage for the New Kingdom period, a time of prosperity and power in ancient Egypt. Yet, despite his youth and inexperience, Tutankhamun managed to leave a significant mark on Egypt's history. His decisions and actions shaped the course of his kingdom, proving that even a boy king can make a big difference. However, like all mortal beings, Tutankhamun's life had an end. Yet his end is a tale shrouded in mystery and intrigue, a story that has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. The circumstances surrounding the young pharaoh's death are as enigmatic as the Sphinx itself. His demise at the tender age of just 19, after a reign of merely 10 years, has led to a plethora of theories. Some propose that he fell from his chariot. Others suggest he was struck by a deadly illness, while yet others whisper of treacherous palace plots and assassination. The discovery of his tomb in the year 1922 by the archaeologist Howard Carter only deepened the enigma. The tomb, hidden in the Valley of the Kings, was a treasure trove of artifacts, all preserved impeccably, reflecting the grandeur and the opulence of the pharaoh's life. But it's the pharaoh's death mask, a stunning piece of craftsmanship in gold and precious stones, that has become the iconic image of Tutankhamun in the world's collective memory. Yet the biggest mystery was the mummy itself. The initial examination of Tutankhamun's remains revealed a possible blow to the back of the head, leading to theories of murder. Later investigations, however, suggested that the damage could have been caused during the mummification process or even by Carter's team during the excavation. In the year 2005, a CT scan of the mummy revealed an infected broken leg. Could this injury, perhaps sustained in a chariot accident, have led to his premature death? Or was it a swift and deadly malaria infection as suggested by DNA tests conducted in 2010? The truth may never be known. The mystery of Tutankhamun's death continues to captivate us, adding an aura of intrigue to the story of this boy king. His life was brief, but his impact everlasting. Thus, the boy king's reign ended in mystery, but his legacy lived on. From the sands of time arose a tale that continues to enthrall the world, a tale of a young king, a golden mask, and a death shrouded in mystery. Centuries later, we are still fascinated by the life and reign of Tutankhamun. This young pharaoh, who ascended the throne at the tender age of 9 and reigned for a decade, has left a legacy that transcends the sands of time. Tutankhamun, or King Tut as he's affectionately known, may have had a short reign and a shorter life, but his influence has been nothing short of monumental. His legacy isn't marked by grand architectural feats or sweeping reforms, but rather by the window he offers into the past. When Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon stumbled upon his tomb in the early 20th century, they unearthed more than just a burial site. They discovered a time capsule filled to the brim with the riches of a bygone era. The artifacts found within his tomb have provided invaluable insights into the culture, religion, and daily life of ancient Egypt. From the famed golden death mask to the intricate chariots, each artifact tells a story. They've helped us understand the craftsmanship, the sophistication, and the beliefs of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. The tomb's discovery has also led to numerous advancements in the field of Egyptology, spurring further interest and research into this fascinating period of history. But beyond the academic sphere, Tutankhamun's legacy permeates our culture and collective consciousness. His story has inspired countless books, movies, and exhibitions. His name, his image, and his golden mask have become synonymous with the grandeur and mystery of ancient Egypt. Yet, despite all we've learned, Tutankhamun remains an enigma. His life, his reign, and his untimely death continue to captivate us, to draw us in. We may never fully unravel the mysteries that surround the boy king, but perhaps that's part of his enduring appeal. In the end, Tutankhamun's greatest legacy may be the sense of wonder he instills, a reminder of the vast tapestry of human history, of civilizations risen and fallen, of stories waiting to be told. So, the boy king, though long gone, continues to rule in our imaginations and history books.